Welcome back to the podcast. Everybody, introduce yourselves.
John Metzger.
Bender back at it.
And Will Rob.
All right, well, there's a lot to uncover from last week. I think we got to start out with the big news that dropped. Sunday. James Franklin, as I predicted from the beginning of the fucking podcast, was going to get fired. Remember back in the second episode of this, Will, Rob, and Hayden, when you were calling this the most freeze cold take of hot take of them all? Well, absolutely, you guys were wrong. I told you this was going to happen from the very start. He was not built for Penn State. He was not built to win any of these big games that they were playing to win. And now they've lost their starting quarterback, Drew Hour, for the rest of the year, who's gone from a first-round pick, potentially, to an undrafted free agent with the way he's fucking played. And now their team's just outright dog shit. I wouldn't be surprised if they fucking get rid of, Andy Kolnicki. He might be gone. Jim Knowles, I'd fucking get rid of him too. He's ass as well. So, it's just a dumpster fire right now at Penn State. And I don't know who their next head coach is. It's not Kirk Cignetti, that's for sure, because he just signed an 8-year extension with the Hoosiers. But I don't know who it's going to be. If I had to predict right now who their coach would be, I would say Matt Rule from Nebraska or Matt Campbell from Iowa State would be my two guesses. Yeah, Penn State's in a world of trouble right now. So I'll let you guys react to this. What are your thoughts about this big firing from Penn State?
It makes sense after fucking 3 losses in a row. What makes even more sense is this is the best trap game of the year. Penn State's going to go on the road to Ohio State and somehow bullshittedly win. That'd be fucking hilarious, I think. It's not actually going to happen, but I just think, of all the years for it to happen, it'd be so funny if it happens this year when James Franklin's fucking fired. But it's not going to happen. I think most likely the Missouri head coach could get the job offer because, you're at Missouri. He's got a really solid – but I think it'd be even funnier. Missouri head coach goes over to Penn State and then fucking – isn't it Bo – what's his last name?
Burbula.
Yeah, imagine he goes over with the fucking Missouri head coach over to Penn State. I don't even know what year he's on, so I can't. But, I think it'd be hilarious. Probably won't happen. The Kirk Cignetti does not surprise me at all because they want to cover their ass just because they want their coach. He looks like he's going to, really build something in Indiana and Hoosier land. So, they get their guy locked up and Penn State's fucking looking like, I don't even know. Michigan could even do this soon if Sharon Moore doesn't want to get his head out of his ass and start figuring out the play calling. I'm being for real on that. I don't know why Chip Lindsey needs to go, though. That's my little Michigan rant to start the fucking day.
And then, before Hayden goes, I think also another coach that's going to get on the move very soon. That's Billy Napier. I think he's going to be gone soon in the next couple of weeks. So even that Florida job offers up. No, not at all. Napier's fucking awful. But I think Penn State will still be the best job. Even if, Florida comes open, let's say maybe LSU falls apart. If that job comes open, I think Penn State, I don't really know. I think LSU would probably jump that as the top, head coaching job, but we'll see how the rest of the season goes.
Yeah. Shocked that Penn State dropped 3 games in a row. Like we said before, we did not see it coming out of this team, which is the team that we thought would get it done, be the team under James Franklin. Well, that's out the window. They're trash. They just fired him. So props to Indiana, though, for signing Cignetti real quick because they wanted to make sure he's not going to leave. And it sounded like he wasn't going to and stuff he said in press conferences before. So just making sure he's not going to leave is a great move because I really think that's a good step for them. But back to Penn State, I don't know who they're going to sign. I know Brose said Matt Rule. Matt Rule in his one press conference said he was just talking about Penn State, how he just loves the place and everything while he's actively coaching at Nebraska. So, it looks like he might be a front runner. But somebody I could see possibly coming back into the coaching space that's been done for a few years is Ed Orgeron. I feel like Coach O could come back and maybe revitalize that Penn State program.
Hell yeah!
For a little bit.
Hell yeah!
But I don't know. I could see somebody like him coming back into the coaching space to get a good job offer. I really don't know if I see like a current head coach taking it. I know it's possible. If anybody did, it'd be Matt Rule. But I think it'd be interesting to see somebody like Ed Orgeron come back to the game to take a Penn State job, which I mean I could see him doing. I think he was treated unfairly at LSU when he left, so it could be interesting to see somebody like that come back. But I mean, Penn State, you're in a world of hurt.
Go Tigers!
The next going against Ohio State next, I mean they're probably going to get whooped, but as John said, if they somehow beat them this year of all years, that'd be the craziest thing to happen, but it's just not going to. So Penn State's in a shambles, so they need to figure it out quickly.
One more thing I'd like to add. I know this is going to be a swing and a miss, probably. I think if you're Penn State and you're trying to go all out, I think a dark horse for this job is Marcus Freeman. Hear me out. Hear me out.
Put the fries in the bag.
If they don't fall apart, he's not leaving. That's for sure. But if they maybe lose like 2 more games, there's no risk in asking to call him. I mean, I think he would be such a good fit there with a team and program like Penn State that's that close to being at the top level. They just need the coach to get there. I think Marcus Freeman would be the best option out of all the guys we've listed, I think. So I think there's no harm in giving him a call. Maybe if Notre Dame falls off, but it's highly unlikely. I'm just throwing it out there as a dark horse.
Here, let me reenact that call that Marcus Freeman's going to get. Hi, hello, this is Penn State. Shut the fuck up, bye.
No, dude, that's not how it go. If Notre Dame would go down the drains, like it's
Right.
possible they could have, especially what it looked like to start the year. I mean, it's possible he could get the call and be interested because it is Penn State, and I know they've been not the best in big games, but that was under James Franklin. I mean, you got to realize this is a great atmosphere and a place where players will go to play. So, I mean, Marcus Freeman, if stuff does start going downhill, he could be interested in a job like this, especially if it's not taken soon. So I don't think it's a bad take. I saw somebody else say that they would take it too. I forget who was given the analysis on it, but they were saying it's possible Marcus Freeman would take the job too. So it's not a terrible take, but I don't think it's most likely, that's for sure. And if you're just going to throw calls out there, you might as well just call Nick Saban and just make sure he's 100% not going to coach again. I mean, you might as well call anybody that's out there.
God.
I mean, call Nick Saban, call Marcus Freeman, call anybody at this point. I mean, they might as well just shoot their shot until they finally find one. Because I really don't think you want Matt Rule to come into Penn State and just be mid like he's been everywhere else. You're not going to get anywhere. It's going to be James Franklin all over again. So I don't think Matt Rule's it. I think they call anybody they can. Personally, I think Ed Orgeron would be amazing to go coach at Penn State. But that's just a personal take.
All right, well, Rob, all yours.
So I just want to say that Penn State fans, they're probably rejoicing right now. I mean, James Franklin was great at getting, the cupcakes out of the way until this year when UCLA got it done against them. But big game James finally gone out of Penn State. As an Ohio State fan who is a claimed rival of Penn State's, according to them, it kind of sucks to see him go. That was kind of like Michigan's Ryan Day. That was our fucking Ryan Day. That was fucking James Franklin. Knowing that no matter what the teams look like, we could just play them and beat them every year. It was pretty nice. So we'll see what kind of happens with that. I think it's pretty funny that he's gone. And Penn State just went from being a top 3 team to just gone out of nowhere. It's just hilarious. And, for such a good program, we'll see what happens with them. I think that, dark horse, always in the realm of coaching possibilities. What about Urban Meyer? What about little Herb action? Could you imagine? Could you imagine if he goes to Penn State and plays against Ohio State? That'd be pretty crazy. But no, I don't think that'll really happen. It's always an option, though. Same with Saban. Coach O, I kind of like that one. But honestly, Matt Campbell is going to be a name that's always in these coaching talks. But we'll see what he does. He usually doesn't take the bait for the money. He seems pretty loyal to Iowa State. So we'll see what they actually finally do get decided on, especially with Cincinnati signing his deal, too.
All right, I'd just like to come on here. I know we're into the podcast, but we should have a little bit of a guest speaker coming in here. Boz should be joining us any moment now, hopefully, if he gets it figured out. I just had to, get on the phone, make some fucking GM calls, get it done. But we should have a guest speaker since we don't have Gavin this week.
Okay. We're just going to go over some games, and if we want to add on them, we can. From this last weekend, Alabama went to Missouri and got a win 27-24. Ty Simpson played a very good game. He was 23 of 31, 200 yards and 3 touchdowns, no turnovers. Ryan Williams did get hurt in this game, which is confusing and scary for Alabama. He's obviously Texas, team we look down on. Absolutely steamrolled fucking up 23-6. John Sear, oh my God, looked like shit. It wasn't even close. I mean, just Texas proved, they're not gone yet. Their defense is still very good. Arch played a lot better than he had the previous weeks. But, we'll see how both teams respond. Indiana, as Hayden predicted, went into Oregon. Not this one, but they won by 10 points. So he got both those right on the nail. Hayden, props to you for that prediction. But, yeah, and then the one stunner we got to talk about happened in Los Angeles last weekend. Wow. USC fucking manhandled Michigan, which shocked me to my core. I thought Michigan was known for their tough and grit, pound the rock, O-line. No, it was the opposite way. USC said, hold on, let's take a page out of Michigan's playbook, and let's just go run it down their fucking throats. I mean, we see Michigan do this all the time. They do this to us every fucking year. They run it right down our throats every year. It doesn't matter if their quarterback's fucking Davis Ward or J.J. McCarthy. They still fucking run it down our throats, and they still beat us. But, yeah, the fact that USC won this game by 18 points, and I didn't think USC was built for these big games, but I was proven wrong. But, yeah, Michigan's got a lot of things to focus because they're in deep trouble because this next week they've got Washington. And I think Washington's offense is considerably as good or even better than USC. So I think they're in deep trouble. They got to fix that offensive line. Their passing game, they got to get back to the run. If Justice Haynes is not playing this game, they could lose this really easily. But, yeah, Michigan's in a lot of trouble, and they got to get things fixed fast.
All right, I'm gonna just talk about this one because I think Chip Lindsey should be fucking gone. I don't know why we run so many screen passes for no apparent reason. And then, Wink Martindale, you had a great game called against OSU and Alabama last year, and then we just decide that we're going to man blitz the rest of the fucking time for no reason. We blitz way too much, and it costs us every time. Our D-line is good enough to just stop and play run fits, and we just don't want to. We would rather just say, you know what, we got to sell out and beat the run, so we're just going to blitz everybody. That is so stupid. Bryce is not even playing that bad. It's literally just our receivers and the play calling now. And our receivers honestly didn't even play that bad against USC. I mean, is there a blatant PI call that doesn't get called, that probably, gives us some momentum? Yeah, apparently, we just run spinning routes now is what the new route is called. Never fucking heard of that in my life. Chip Lindsey needs the hell out of here. I think if Sharon doesn't, figure it the fuck out. I mean, Bryce, I don't think will leave. I mean, he's getting $12 million just for existing, basically. But we need to get Chip Lindsey out of here or fix up the play calling. Bryce in our offense is good when he's throwing the ball downfield, not laterally. And yeah, our run game needs to be better, but we didn't have Justice Haynes, so we become a little bit one-dimensional when we have one back in there. And our O-line just didn't want to dominate, apparently. They just want to take the fucking day off. Our defense honestly played fine, but we did blitz untimely a couple of times that costed us. But I think we should be able to bounce back against Washington. It literally just depends on, once again, the play calling. We had good play calling against Central Michigan, and look what we did. And then we have bad play calling against Oklahoma and USC, both road games, mind you. And look what we do. We play bad football. It's stupid. But honestly, if Michigan does lose to Washington, which I hope they don't, and I don't think they will, I think last week was just a bad week of sports for the Michigan and Detroit area, because I can literally mathematically fucking prove that because the Tigers lost and, the Wings won. The Wings are the only thing good going right now. But the Lions fucking lost because we got dicked down by Patrick Mahomes and the paid-off refs. That was fucking horse shit. Good thing Brian Banch fucking absolutely beat the piss out of fucking Juju. I am so happy about that. I am so fucking happy about that. He could have a 6-game suspension. I would not care. But I'm focused on the Wolverines hockey because we are number 4 in the country. Number 4. best defensive start we've had all fucking year in our entirety of history of Wolverine hockey. So we're going to continue that. We have a good adversity game today.
Little off topic here, John.
All right, Hayden, you want to go?
Yeah. For Michigan,
I think he's reconnected. Whatever, you can go if you want.
Okay. Regarding the games from last week, we talked about Bama first. I was kind of confused to see like the play calling from Missouri. Just looking back from a box score perspective, Missouri had two great running backs, and they decided really just not to utilize them that much. I mean, that was kind of something that I look forward to going into that, is just how much they could really produce for them. And I mean, that's just got to be disappointing. Like, as a Missouri fan, like, you have a huge chance against Alabama coming into your place, biggest home game in a long time. Like, you really think you could win that game, and it just goes south for them quickly because I just could not keep up with them because, I mean, the play calling wasn't that good. I mean, we see the same thing with Michigan. I did predict USC to win, and while Michigan didn't have the best play calling, I think that I was right to predict that USC's offense was pretty good. Mayava was great. Lemon and the wide receiver 2 were both really good for USC. I think that that's a really high-powered offense. You could make a case for them being the best offense in the Big Ten right now, just from how they look. And I mean, I was really surprised that the game went like that. I thought it'd be more high-scoring as far as both sides go, but it was still just a great showing from them. I mean, USC doesn't really have a crazy environment, but obviously I think that game being so far away from home for the Wolverines was just a big factor for them. So, yeah, we'll see how they look next week going against Washington, who really should not be slept on at all.
Hayden.
Boz, you want to go? Hello?
This happened with Hayden's last time. It clocked out, but it's all
Can we just drag Hayden into Rob's room?
Might have to. Boz, you got anything on the last week's games?
Hang on. Oh. We gotta wait a second because I already know Bender's ass is talking right now and we're just sitting here. And it's gonna play through as we're talking over him. Rob, go have a word with him.
One moment. Boz, speak your mind.
Alright. Well, I watched probably 3 games last week, if I'm being completely honest. I watched them all with Rob, John, Bender. I watched one with Brose at John's. But personally, I think the Toledo game was kind of crazy. That was one of my biggest takeaways from the week, is the fact that a backup quarterback comes in and puts up a great showing in the last half of the game. There's nothing Toledo could do with that, I believe. I don't think we covered this, but I am covering it. So, I watched the Ohio State game at the game. I believe that Ohio State's a great team. There's, they run sort of an NFL offense where they control the game the whole way through. There's points where that defense breaks. That's the first time it's broke at the goal line in a while. It's always a bend don't break defense. But with that, there's kind of shot moments on the offense where I feel like it stalled and it shouldn't have stalled, and I feel like with that high caliber of a team, it shouldn't be stalling a lot as much as it has as of late. But I still think they're a stellar team, and there's nothing within that you can't work around with the coaching staff there. And watched the Bearcats game at the game. I feel like it was a bit too close for comfort. I feel like I've seen a couple videos, but you can never truly blame the refs unless it's super, super, super bad, like the game before. But that was
It was a bit close. Bearcats had a solid offensive game plan going into it. It was a lot of passing. The run game was not too shabby. I feel like Brendan Sorsby's been hitting his mark on stride this season. I feel like there hasn't been much of a let up from him. Just a couple missed passes that are overthrown because he's got just a good arm on him. And through the Michigan game, going into that, I feel like Michigan can be a decent team. They have the capacity and the players. They just need a bit better of a game plan going into it. And yes, sometimes the refs do come into effect with that. I feel like that probably should have been a PI, the one play that John was talking about where the guy was spinning around. But with that, there are still points where there's still points that Michigan needed to capitalize and they didn't. So
Yeah, a lot of big question marks going in for some of these teams going in next week. But obviously, we talked about Michigan, so we'll just get right into one of our predictions for this week.
Hold
It's
up.
big noon.
Hold up.
Washington.
Rose.
My bad. Hayden's
I
back.
think we should let Hayden talk and then also go more in depth about the BG game.
All right.
Fuck no, we are skipping that BG game. Fuck no.
No, we're not. No, we are not.
Shut up, John.
I'm not talking about my fucking Rockets
Yes,
sold
you
a
are.
21-point lead, bro. We're not talking
All
about
right, let me
that.
start with Michigan first. I got the score pulled up over here. How do we lose 13-31 against the Trojans? Like, seriously. This team they're nothing special. They're a solid team, but they're nothing to write home about. And for Michigan to go on the road and just put up a terrible performance, I don't understand it. We play good against these teams that are less caliber because we open up the playbook. We let Bryce do his thing. We run the ball. We throw the ball intermediate and deep passing games. Then we play these solid to good teams, and all we do is run the ball up the middle like usual. But if that doesn't work, we just do these little check down, dimpy dump screen passes, and it's every other play. I don't even understand it. You can't get an offense to accelerate down the field and make big plays to strive a good drive together down the field if all we're doing is throwing these little screen passes every play. I just don't understand it. Our wide receivers are mediocre at best. I mean, some of them can't even hold a block for a second to get these guys off the edge around them and get a few yards after the catch. It's so annoying to watch, and when you watch it over and over again for the first half of the season, it's really disappointing. And we got some solid teams coming up like Washington, where I honestly I don't even know if we're gonna win. I know Washington has one loss, but they lost to Ohio State, who's the best team in the country ranking wise. They're probably second in my opinion, but they're still one of the best teams in the country, and they beat Washington. Washington has beat everybody else. So coming into this game, I think Washington should be the favorite against Michigan when we just play this bad against solid teams. Honestly, I could see Washington beating us at home. Michigan is nothing to write home about right now, and they need to fix some things. Like John was saying earlier, our offense just has terrible play calls. I know I just mentioned that earlier, but it's just bad. And we're not even letting our quarterback, who we paid $12 million for 1 year to play at the University of Michigan, to actually play the game. Yeah, he played good against Central Michigan, and the offense was exceeding. That's a MAC school. Most Power 5 teams, Power 4 teams should be doing that any day of the week. When we play these other good teams, we just forget he's back there and just have him throw 5-yard pass to the right, 5-yard pass to the left behind the line of scrimmage and hand the ball off. He never looks once to run the ball. He never looks once to throw the ball down the field. Not once, not ever. And it's really annoying. And I don't think it's all on Bryce. A lot of it's on the play calling. But then when we do throw the ball down the field once in a while, the receivers just usually drop it or don't make a play when they're supposed to. So it's terrible. And I can see Michigan dropping to 4-3. All right, off of that terrible, I'm going to go to BG against Toledo now. What a high that was. I mean, that was awesome. Wow. The fact that the BG was down 21-0 in the first, and the whole environment at Doit, which was a sold out, was just so quiet. It was awful. We were just getting whooped, and I mean whooped. Toledo was running the ball down our throats the entire game. They were passing the ball. Tucker Gleason looked like a Tom Brady out there for a few minutes out there. He was just dotting people up. And, there's 30 seconds left in the first half, and we get that big screen play for 70 yards. and it's a touchdown. So, like, yeah, we got some chance now. We're down 21-7 at halftime. There's a little spark of life. Man, that second half came around. It looked like a complete different team. Lucian Anderson was playing well, making good reads. Our offensive coordinator has drawn up great plays, and these few trick plays we had, especially the one down the sideline when Garcia threw it to Petaway. That was awesome. And then the defense stepped up too. They had some great plays, some PBUs, some good tackles. But then the strip sack at the 1 yard line for Toledo, for us as well, at Toledo's own 1 was awesome too. I'm not sure how they didn't call that touchdown because it looked like he was in, but they gave us at the 1. We scored again, got up, went up 28-21. Just freaking great game for BG. And, we were 0-75 in games in Bowling Green football history. We were down by 21 points. So the fact that we won that, made it 1-75 at the I-75 is just perfect. So, screw the Rockets. You know the saying, F-U-T, F-U-T, F-U-T. Good job, BG. Let's go, baby.
Hell yeah. And also, I want to go in depth about this a little bit. Also, being a BG student, being at this game, it was awesome for about a half. But the first half was just ass. We couldn't do jack shit. It looked like we were just watching like another just dink and dunk performance, just like Bryce Underwood, but even worse. Lucian Anderson, it'd be like quarterback fucking keeper right up the middle, quarterback power, handoff, screen pass, handoff, QB power. That was what it was for the first half, and then we get finally a big play to go through, like Hayden was saying, the screen pass. Finally, one of those fucking worked. We got blocks, scored. After half, we just completely opened it up. That one fucking trick play down the sideline, amazing. And then we have lights out defense the rest of the game, score a bunch of unanswered points, and then we get that strip sack at the goal line, 1 yard touchdown, punch it in, and then to seal it off, how about the buttception? That was amazing.
I forgot about that one.
Yeah, the buttception, and then we run all the way back, get the intentional safety, and rush the field. Amazing. Just an incredible weekend.
Yeah, environment was awesome second half. It was really just a tale of two halves, and it was awesome.
Hell yeah. Sell it in the doit, baby.
Yeah. One of the worst sells I've ever seen at a college football game. That reminded me of Penn State playing Ohio State back when they had Trace McSorley fucking up 21 points and fucking lost that game. This one just felt worse. Absolutely whooping their ass for the first half of the game. And fucking Lucian Anderson looked like some washed up high school bum out there, fucking dick and duck screenplays, fucking couldn't get anything thrown down the field. And then for some reason, our fucking defense, last play of the first half, gives up a fucking 75-yard screen pass touchdown, which shifted the momentum of the game. I don't think without that play, BG wins that game. But, it's a good play call by them. And in the second half, our offense just went cold. The first half, it looked great. Junior Vandeross had a fucking almost 100 yards, I think, by the first half. And he only had 6 catches. Like, that dude should have had, 10 or 11 catches. Because that man was just fucking killing them. Down the fucking sidelines, down the seams. Every fucking time he caught the ball, it was like he had a big play. Tucker Gleason for the first half was good. In the second half, we saw bad Tucker Gleason. That's just all there has to say about that. The buttception, receiver, you got to catch that. We're driving right down to fucking tie the game, and we fucking drop it, and it's a pick. So, yeah, the loss sucks. We choked to a fucking mid team, but it happens. Matt, you got anything to add?
First half was good. Last half was shit. Fuck this game.
Sounds like he wants to
not
move
going
on.
to our I-75 game again, bro. Fuck that.
Yep. This dude was front and center with fucking Toledo gear on and witnessed.
I was so fucking happy in that first half. I was so happy. I got to talk shit to the entire BG student section. I was on live television in my Toledo shirt and a sea of orange. And then I get to fucking sit there and rush the field in Toledo shit. What kind of fucking... Classic fucking Toledo Rocket sell job. We fucking did it against Western. Tucker Gleason, you're fucking lucky I don't have a class with you. I'm kidding. I would still probably give you my money, all my lunch money. I'm not going to lie. But, yeah, I'm not going to another football game. Not fucking happening.
One and done.
I'm fucking 0-0-0, and I'm fucking. That's my win percentage, and I'm gonna have faith that if I go Saturday, it's gonna stay 0-0-0. That win percentage. I do not think we would. Who the fuck do we even play this weekend? Oh, we play Kent State. We might honestly lose to Kent State, Kent Reed, Kent Wright. I kid you not, bro. I am convinced at this point. Like, we just lost as we were up 21-0. All it takes is Eddie George to put a fucking hat on after the fucking half, and they just magically figure out how to play fucking football again. Fucking our receiver, literally, this is the final part of the rant. I've never seen a receiver or anyone fucking catch the ball and dribble it into the ground instead of fucking securing it. This is not basketball. It's not basketball. I know I don't know basketball, but I know basketball is I know dribbling is a basketball thing, not a fucking football thing. Jesus fucking, 2 hands into the chest. 2 hands into the chest. We don't know. Yeah, Boz, right there. Apparently our receiver thinks he's fucking playing basketball and he's going to make a fucking move. And he just goes, dribble, and fucking throws it in the fucking ground for no reason. I mean,
John, what's
in
the
your hands.
name of
Trevor
this
Gleason
player?
didn't
Do
even
you
play
know?
bad. And then the ass cheek interception was just fucking. I'd rather fucking not lose that way of all the ways. At least throw it to the linebacker. Don't fucking throw it to your receiver and then his ass cheeks keep it in the fucking air and from the ground. So he just grabs it off of his cheeks. Like, well, yeah. Yeah. I'm not even going to say that next year's our year because I don't think any year is our year anymore. I'm fucking... People ask me, oh, why don't you go to Rocket sporting events? This is why right here. That game right there was why I do not go. And I just sit my happy ass at home and I watch other sports or other teams in general. I'd rather watch the Florida Gators versus South Florida 15 more times than that game.
All right. Well, yeah, a lot of bullshit we've been talking about. That was just one of the worst chokes I've ever seen. I mean, it's just bad. I mean, Jason Cannon, you can't be at 21 points in the fucking first half and choke to a fucking backup mid-quarterback. Like,
Get John Gruden on our fucking team. I want John Gruden
I
now.
fucking take that. Jesus Christ. I mean, I kind of wish now Drew Pine
got me feeling nice inside.
But anyways, we're going to move on. We're going to go through these picks as quickly as we can. I'm not going to go into details much unless it's a big matchup. The first one we're going to start with is Big Noon. Michigan is hosting a very good Washington team. That's obviously they played one good team for Ohio State. The offense got shut down pretty easily. But Ohio State's got the best. Washington team for that. But I think it's going to be a good game. You know, Washington, they have good offense. The Mount Williams coming in. He's got a good year so far. Michigan, they got to respond. They're going to go back to their roots and stone run game, or is that not the work? Defense got to be better. So is the fucking interior lineman in the offense. But I know this is be a good game, and I want to pick one team, but I want to pick the other. So I'm not going to make the same mistake I did last week. I'm going with Washington to go on the road and get a big win over Michigan. And I think they're going to get it done because DeMond Williams is going to be him, and he's just going to perform better than Bryce. So I'm going with the Huskies to get this big win, I believe.
All right, shut up. All right, here we go. I'm going to pick my team again. If I have another fucking weekend like I just had last weekend, we're going to have some problems. Big problems. Okay? Now, there is hope because the Wings made up for it. So even if I have shit, the Wolverines play like shit, I can be okay with it, I guess. But, my God, if we lose at home, I'm going to be very upset. Now, this is also part of the reason why I decided to go to the hockey game with my father and not the football game. It's going to rain, or at least the weather says.
John, we're talking about football here, dude. Come on.
Shut up. But, yeah, you know, I have a very odd feeling that we could just drop 2 straight, and I will literally, I might light the entire Michigan team on fire. I don't know. But, specifically Chip Lindsey. But, give me the Wolverines. going to be calm. Give me the Wolverines by 3 points. Ernest Hausman's going to break whoever the fuck Washington's quarterback's leg. That's what's going to happen. Snap leg. Go Wolverines.
All right, this is a tough game for Michigan because they haven't looked good, and Washington has looked solid at least. I mean, they've lost to Ohio State, but they've beat everybody else pretty solidly, and Michigan just is not looking good. I know we're 4-2, we've had some wins, but our 2 losses have been decent teams. Honestly, I'm gonna pick Washington. I don't care right now. I'll tell you why. Because if Michigan wins, my day is good. If they lose, which I think they're going to, because they're straight buns right now. I can't stand watching this. I can't stand watching this offensive struggle that we have every single week. I just can't. I'm so annoyed by it. So if Michigan at least loses, then my pick goes correctly. So I'm taking Washington. If Michigan does win, I'll be a happy fan. But for now, I'm picking Washington because I just can't stand having the double loss every single weekend when I'm watching this team. I just can't. Give me Washington. Hope Michigan wins, though.
Boz, do you want to go?
Yeah, I can go. So, judging by the one game I've watched from Michigan, I genuinely don't know how this will go. I think Washington's a good football team, but I mean, home crowd, home stands, I feel like that can have a big impact in anything. I feel like the Big House could kind of get up for this game just because they've got nothing else to get up for up there. So I think it'll be a close one. I think Michigan could keep it. If Michigan can keep it within a touchdown, I think that they can have the game. So I think I've got Michigan.
Did Will Rod make a pick or no?
No.
He did not? Okay.
Well,
he's trying to get
over there.
So.
Wow.
Will Rob, you there? Well, we can get back to we're going to go on the next one. There's some good SEC matchups this week. There's actually 3 of them we're going to get into. First one is LSU going on the road to face Diego Pavia and Vanderbilt Commodores. LSU, off that Ole Miss loss, they bounced back decently. Obviously they didn't pick. Oh, Rob, do you want to make your pick?
Yes, I do. Hold on. So, first of all, thank you, Hayden, for finally coming to your senses. You're finally making rational picks here. Unlike the Illinois pick last week, I don't really know what he was thinking there. But I will give him props. He did pick Indiana. I don't know if he got to really speak his mind on that, but, he made a great pick there. So, good job, buddy, on that. But, yeah, I really don't think that I can switch up my mind just yet. I've been, I think, undefeated on picking this team this year. And before the season started, I was really lukewarm on this team. I think that's the right word. I wasn't overly high or overly low. I think I was kind of just right because I predicted they'd go either 9-3 or 8-4 around there. And honestly, it's looking like it could be 8-4, maybe, especially depending on how this game goes. I really like Washington. I do. I think Ohio State just kind of suffocated them offensively. And I think that they're going to have a bounce-back game. Michigan's just not as strong defensively, and I think that Damon Williams is going to show why he's a really good quarterback. I think that this could look like last week. I think that it'll be a little closer just because Washington's offense isn't quite the caliber as USC, but I think that they're going to get it done. I'm going to have to pick the Huskies in this one as well.
Okay, I'm going to get back to what talking about LSU and Vandy. It's going to be a good game. Vandy with the home atmosphere, that's an advantage for them, as Boz talked about. Diego Pavia, can he bounce back and get a big win here? Is Garrett Nussmeier going to prove he's one of the top quarterbacks in the SEC? I'm going to go with Tigers on this one. I think it's going to be close. I think Vandy will cover the spread. I think the spread's at like 7.5 right now for LSU. I got LSU by 3. Give me the Tigers.
Yeah, I'm going to take LSU. I feel like we've been over the how bad LSU can be, I feel like, and I think they turn it around finally, hopefully. I think I've said so many times in a row that their offense is going to get going. I think this could be the game finally. I I don't know why it won't get going. That offense is so good on paper, I think. And Nuss can be a Heisman winning quarterback if he locks in. But I think they need a game where they just dominate a team offensively and defensively, both sides of the ball, and that's their believe game. All right, let's believe in us game. And I think that can happen this week, but I don't know. We'll see, but I'll take LSU either way. Give me the Tigers.
Now, I've watched neither of these teams, but I just looked up the box scores for all LSU games. I mean, it's probably not the best way to look at it, but I don't think that they have it. Judging by what I'm seeing, I don't see high-scoring offense in this. I see 20 to 10 over South Carolina last week, which I don't think is that. Granted, a win's a win in college football. There's nothing you can get out of that, but I think that Vandy's crowd's going to get up like how I said Michigan's probably will. And I think that since this is such a ranked matchup and Vandy really hasn't been really highly ranked like this in a while, I think that Vandy's gonna pull out the win here at home.
All right, on this game, I'm kind of ping-ponging on it. I really don't like how LSU's looked for the most part, but I just don't think Vandy has the defensive talent to really keep up with LSU. I think that LSU is just going to be able to pull away. And as much as I like Pavia, I just don't think that he's going to be able to will his team today. I think it's going to look similar to the Bama game just because LSU just has that much more talent on both sides of the ball. I think that it'll be coming down probably late in a close, low-scoring game, and LSU will probably just win it on either side of the ball. Just a big play will be made, and Vandy won't be able to come back from it. So I'm going to take the Tigers in this one. Go ahead.
What are you guys even talking about? I'm going to go LSU. I picked Vandy last week. Keep it short. Or was it? No, not last week. I don't know. I picked them against Bama, and it didn't go my way. So I'm going to pick LSU. Just keep it short.
All right, well, looks like a clean sweep. But Gavin did take Vanderbilt. I will mention that. Gavin did pick Vanderbilt in this game. We'll list all of his picks since he's not with us on this episode. But the next game we'll move on to. This one's going to be a good one. Ole Miss and Lane Kiffin going on the road to face Kirby Smart in Georgia. Georgia, obviously, coming off that tough loss to Bama. Bounced back last week, getting a big win over Auburn on the road. Georgia doesn't lose much often at home. But as I've seen, they got off to slow starts easily. Against Tennessee, they got off to slow start. Alabama, slow start. Georgia, Auburn, slow start. I think Ole Miss could have a lead early in this game. But I think that second half, I don't know what it is with that Georgia team, but it feels like in the second half, they just flip a switch and they play like fucking the Avengers. It's ridiculous. So with that in mind, I think it's going to be a close game. I think Ole Miss can get it done, but I'm going with Georgia. At home, that atmosphere, they got to win this one. I think if Georgia wants to prove they're a top team in the SEC, they've got to win this one. If Ole Miss wants to, they have to win this one. But I'm going with Georgia. I think it's going to be close, but I'm going with the Bulldogs at home in Athens.
All right, so I know Ole Miss struggled with, I think it was Mississippi State last week.
Washington State.
Washington State. Even worse. Whatever. I think you're allowed to struggle in college football. And I think Ole Miss gets a statement win here. I think the Rebels get a statement win on the road. They prove why they're a top team in the SEC and why they deserve their ranking. And, they basically take Georgia and throw them out the window in SEC contention at least. So, yeah, give me the Rebels on the road. By 10, actually. I think they're going to dominate them, honestly. I think this is a dominant game offensively for them.
All you, boss.
All right, I'm not picking with my brain here. I'm kind of just picking to piss Craigo off. So, fuck the old moose. I got Georgia. I got Georgia by a fucking billion. Fuck them.
All right. I don't know if you guys see, but Georgia's favored by 7.5 right now, which is I think that's crazy. Honestly, it should be a lot closer than that. So I'm gonna take Ole Miss, not to just cover the spread, but win the game as well. I see it being a close one, maybe like 3 to 7 points, one possession game. But I don't know. I've just seen not the same Kirby Smart team that we've seen recently in the past few years. I feel like this one, they're still a solid team. I don't see them finishing the top of the SEC this year. And I think this is a game if they lose to a very good team in Ole Miss. And I have Ole Miss winning by about one possession. So that's my take.
All right. I respect that pick. I think that I would definitely take Ole Miss if this was at their place. But I think that a young quarterback like Chambliss coming in from Ole Miss, I think that he's just going to be overwhelmed, especially late in this game. I think that if you're on Ole Miss's side, you want to try and just build up as big as lead as you can. I know Georgia makes the comebacks, but you got to give yourself some breathing room because these guys shall just pounce on you in the second half. And I think that that's what they're going to do. I think it'll be late in the game, and I think that the defense for Georgia will just be a little too suffocating. And I think that Stockton just makes a few more plays and gets it done for Georgia. I think that they're going to get a statement win behind a very large crowd.
All right, well, last SEC one we'll get into. This one's big. Tennessee's going on the road to face Alabama. Obviously, Tennessee, last big game we've seen from them, they were beating Georgia in that second half. But as we've seen, Georgia's resilient in that second half, came back, won that game in overtime. Alabama started off with that horrible loss against Florida State, was questioning how good they were even going to be. But now they bounced back tremendously. They beat Georgia at Georgia. They beat Vandy. Vandy's a solid, decent, like not solid, but like they're okay SEC team. But I don't know. I think this game you could pick any of these two, and I think it'd be fine. It'd be arguable. But Bama's look good. I still think they're not complete though. I'm gonna go with the Tennessee Volunteers going into Bryant-Denny Stadium and getting a huge win over Alabama. I think Joey Aguilar has got what it takes to get it done. He's learned from his mistakes. Give me the Vols. Even though I fucking hate Tennessee, I hate Bama even more. I'm going with the Vols to get it done on the road against the Crimson Tide.
So, I'm a very big Vols fan when it comes to SEC. So, Bama has looked very good. But I think I can just feel Rocky Top singing to me right now, saying, good old Rocky Top. Woo! Rocky Top, Tennessee. So I'm taking the Vols on the road. I got a fucking upset win. I like chaos in the SEC, and I think this is going to create the most chaos. So give me the fucking Vols.
I think I'm gonna have to join you guys here. I've seen them play once in my life. They got shit pumped by Ohio State, but I think that this year's a little bit different for them. I feel like even after their close loss to Georgia early, I think that they are a high-scoring caliber team. I think that they can pull this out, and I think that Alabama's up there with them with scoring, and they're able to score, but I feel like the Vols just are kind of more high power in that category, so give me the Vols.
All right, I don't know what the rest of you three are smoking, but I'm not picking against Alabama again for a while. I'll tell you that. I've already picked against them twice this season. Terrible decision. They've looked like one of the best teams in the country after week one. I got Bama, and I don't think it's honestly close. I think they win by 13. I just don't see Bama losing at home. And this Tennessee team, they've sold games in the past against a good team like Georgia. We thought they'd get it done. If it is that close, again, they're just going to sell like they always do. They don't have a very good record against Bama, and they're on the road. I'm taking Bama. I don't think it's that hard of a choice. I can't believe you all three are taking Tennessee.
Yeah, honestly, I don't got much against Tennessee. I mean, if they would have beat Ohio State last year, then I would. But I think that Bama's really found their mojo since week one. I mean, they've looked really, really good. They've had like 3 weeks in a row of beating ranked teams. They've just looked like very complete. Ty Simpson looks like, honestly, I didn't think this would happen, but he looks like a Heisman candidate so far. I think he's played really well. I think that, especially this game being at home and at night, I think that they're just going to continue to own Tennessee just like they usually do. And I'm just going to have to go with Bama. Roll Tide.
Okay, well, we're 50-50 split. Gavin also took Alabama, so we're 50-50 on this game, which is expected. I think you could pick either of these two teams and it's justified. But last one we're moving into. This is a primetime game. USC coming off that huge win against Michigan goes on the road now and faces a Notre Dame team that's looked a lot better since those two losses early in the year to Miami, Florida, and Texas A&M, who are both top 5 teams. It's going to be a good atmosphere. That's a rivalry game. It's going to be so intense. Can USC repeat that same run game they can against Notre Dame? And can they repeat that same offensive success they had? I want to say they can. I don't think it's going to happen, though. I'm going with Notre Dame to get it done at home in this rivalry atmosphere and keeps their postseason hopes alive. I'm going with Marcus Freeman and the Irish to get a big win here over a good USC team. I think USC is close. I think it'll be close, but I think Notre Dame will just get the win at the end because of one guy, Jeremiah Love. That's all I have to say.
So Notre Dame loses by 1 score to 2 top 5 teams. They're at home against USC. Yeah, this ain't a debate. Give me the Irish. Give me the fucking Irish.
I honestly got no clue about this one. I just watched USC I watched Michigan fly all the way over there and then kicked some Wolverine ass into the ground, but I think that Notre Dame looks like a solid team to me just through box scores and everything. I haven't really watched them play. I think I watched part of the Miami game, like just a little bit, but personally, I think I'll join the train of the Irish. I think that maybe it's my hair, but I think that's my take.
I like the pick, Buzz. I'm going to roll with the Irish, too. I know they have 2 losses, but I think I stated in one of the other episodes, I still think they're a top 6 team in the country, even though they have 2 losses. Their 2 losses have come by very minuscule, very little details that I think if they play again, they win the game if they play those 2 teams again. So I'm going to take Notre Dame. The spread's 9.5. I'd up it up to 13.5. I know USC just beat Michigan. From what I've seen, USC is a solid team. Michigan is mid. And I think Notre Dame is one of the best teams in the country. I could see them winning the Natty. I know they have 2 losses, but I think they're a great team. Give me Notre Dame by at least 10. I think USC keeps it close, but the Irish are rolling away. I'm telling you right now, at home, it's just not going to happen for the Trojans.
Okay, saying they're natty contenders is crazy. Oh, my God.
Just wait, dude. Their 2 losses, look it up, 4 points off a missed PAT that was bobbled and then a game-winning field goal. Look at it, bro. They're a good team, I'm telling you.
Yeah, I agree. They have looked a lot better, and their 2 losses were to 2 really good teams. So I understand what Hayden's saying. I wouldn't necessarily put them in like the top tier just yet, just because they got to keep proving it, especially with games like this. You got to remember that Notre Dame really doesn't have a marquee win. Like in their only 2 tests of the year so far, they lost. As close as they were still losses. I mean, I really can't give them credit for beating fucking Boise State and Arkansas, or in fucking Purdue. Like, sorry, that's nothing so far.
And didn't they play NC State last week?
Yeah, who fucking cares? They all suck. But this is really, I mean, honestly, Notre Dame's biggest test the rest of the year, I think. I mean, if they win this game, then they could be coasting and the rest of the way to a playoff spot, which is as crazy as that seems because they were really close to being unranked for a while. I mean, yeah, looking at the schedule now, they don't play anyone else, even like close to ranked after this week. So I think this is really their big test left. If they can get this done, I think they roll, and they'll probably be. They might have a home game by the end if it's all said and done. If they keep on the streak that they have right now. So that being said, I think that Notre Dame's just on a little bit more of a high, and I think this game being at home, they're not going to choke it again. I think C.J. Carr plays well. I think that they can have more of a dynamic passing offense than Michigan showed, and this will be the game that's really just a shootout. I think both offenses are going to play well. It's going to look similar to that Texas A&M Notre Dame game that we saw earlier in the year, which was such a great game. I think this will be similar to that. And I think this time Notre Dame pulls out one, and in the end, they end up pulling away by about 10, in my opinion.
Well, we're all on the Notre Dame train, but except for Gavin. Gavin took the Trojans in this one. He's the lone Trojan supporter in this one, but we'll have to see how it goes. Big college football week. We covered it all. I think it's going to be a good one. We'll have to see what happens. Moving to the NFL, we saw a great game tonight between the Steelers and the Bengals. You know, good AFC North classic. I'll let our Steelers fanboy start it off here because he's got to be feeling it two different ways. Offense was great. Rodgers was pretty good except for the 2 picks. One of them wasn't his fault. But my God, that top 5 defense you guys have got absolutely shredded by fucking 50-year-old Joe Flacco. So you can start the rant if you want. Here we go. Let's get rolling.
First of all, don't call me a fanboy, bro. It's very disrespectful. Second of all, yeah, the defense was trash. I mean, I know the Bengals got some of the best receivers in the league in Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, but when you let Jamar Chase just get the most easy routes of all time, just like these little drag routes across the middle, that's just destined for a terrible outcome. I mean, his yards after catch tonight was crazy, especially over the middle. I mean, he just caught him and got yards and yards and yards after catch. And then when we don't guard him over the middle, we're just like dropping back, and he's getting these 12 to 15 yard routes as well. And then that's not working either. So then we switch to man coverage, and Jalen Ramsey just gets busted the whole night against T. Higgins and Jamar Chase. Just terrible. And the reason we got Jalen Ramsey and Darius Slay in the offseason is to play against these teams in the AFC North that just have these good receivers like Chase and Higgins. So to see the outcome tonight is very disappointing. A positive, though, is that the offense looked great. Rodgers played very, very well. I know he had a pick. He made one bad read, and then, like Bro said, the other one wasn't his fault. It was in DK's hands, and they just got ripped. I said 2, one of each. One wasn't his fault. The other got ripped away out of DK's hands, so it was in his hands. So, I mean, that's kind of on DK there. But, I mean, the offense looked good. I can't complain too much. Jalen Warren is looking amazing. He's had a great season so far. He looks like a backfield threat. So, it's looking good for him. But, I mean, man, the defense, like I said before, they're top paid in the league, get paid the most money. And they're just selling. And I know, the Bengals have looked trash recently, but I mean, Flacco looked very good. Obviously, he can still play at a high level, which we saw tonight. So, I mean, the fact that he's on a solid team with weapons now at his disposal, I mean, that could be scary for the AFC North because the Bengals looked pretty solid against what I would say is a pretty good defense. But they didn't look like it tonight, so it was so annoying to watch. I just feel like Rodgers is cursed in his career. He plays good on offense. He joins a Steelers team that's always had a historically good defense, and he joins the Pittsburgh Steelers, and now it's just like we don't know how to play defense again. I don't even understand it. We haven't had a good quarterback.
Don't even say that fucker's cursed.
No, he is. We haven't had a good quarterback in the Steel City since about 2018's Big Ben. Yes, he is. Listen, let me speak, please, before you keep interrupting me. We haven't had a good quarterback in Steel City since about 2018 Big Ben because his last 2 years were washed. And ever since then, we've had Mason Rudolph, Justin Fields, Russell Wilson, yada, yada, yada. So now that we have Aaron Rodgers, a 4-time MVP, and we start playing good offense for once in the Steel City, and now our defense just sucks all of a sudden, I just don't even understand it. We couldn't get a single quarterback pressure against Joe Flacco and the mid offensive line that they had. Mid is a little overachieving for them. They're trash. TJ Watt had 32 pass rushes at the middle of the fourth quarter. He had 1 pressure on 32 attempts. How does that happen for a guy of his caliber against a terrible offensive line? I don't understand it. Props to the Bengals for drawing up a good game plan for that because it was terrible watching our defensive line pressure, which I thought was going to be great. It was terrible. It's just frustrating. Our defense is now terrible, and our offense is good. It's like the Steelers just went from this way to this way. It's awful. I don't know what to say.
All right, I'll add on to this real quick since Hayden had a lot to say about the Steelers being asked. So just want to say the reason that TJ Watt didn't get that many pressures tonight is because this guy right here is a lot better. Another DPOY on the way, probably not, but he deserves it more than that guy in Steel City. I think that the Steelers, while Aaron Rodgers did have a pretty good game, I think they just got diced up by the Browns legend himself, Joe Flacco. He just he just continues to own the whole AFC North, and it's just a beautiful thing to see. And honestly, I'm happy for him. We shouldn't have let him go, but to be honest, no quarterback's going to succeed in Cleveland right now, so I'm not too mad about it, honestly. And he looked great tonight. Jamar Chase, he was just running cheese routes the whole game, just wide open. So that was kind of cool to see him just dice up the Steelers defense, and already a good sports weekend for me seeing the Steelers lose.
I've got no skin in this division. Me and John's team are in the same division, so we probably feel the same way. But I was actually at a tailgate for the Bengals Steelers just today, right before the game. It was pretty nice down there, but I think it's kind of nice to see the Bengals pull a win out at home against the Steelers. I feel like it's good for at least their morale. Looking at the stats, I mean, the first downs kind of tell a tale of the game. Just looks like Bengals have 27 to the Steelers 19. I feel like we talk about the Steelers offense. Granted, the Bengals had a lot more time with the ball, but you still need to be able to produce on offense when you do have the ball. And I mean, that they did, but you can't have those 2 turnovers by Rodgers. That's just showing his old age, his washed old age. So, I mean, not much else to take away from this. I don't see those 2 teams being the top in the AFC North.
Yeah, so I was at the Michigan game tonight, so I really didn't watch this game, but from what I did watch in the fourth quarter, it looked like Jamar Chase they were literally running cheese college football 26 routes. Drag routes and slant routes, and we cannot cover those. And I was just catching some Z's while Bender was fucking on his rant, because it was the most pointless rant ever, because it was over the Pittsburgh Steelers. So, yeah.
That's the kid who talks about hockey while we're in a college football segment, but carry on.
Yeah.
UT, you know.
That was just Salt over there. That's a salty Steelers fan. He's upset that Unc Rogers is not Unc Fleury from Peacemaker. So, it is what it is. But yeah, let's move on. Let's get through more of these recaps and get to the picks.
Sounds good to me.
1 a.m.
Yeah. I don't got much to say about my team because we're absolutely horrible. So I'm
ass.
Rico Dowdle said "fuck you" to them and fucking dog walked over them. Lions picked them to beat the Chiefs. Thought that was just. But the ref said otherwise. They had Patrick Mahomes' dick in their mouths all night long. I mean, it was a ref fest for cities. And I'm so glad TikTok boy Juju Smith got just his fucking shit beat out of him by Brian Branch. That was kind of funny to see. See some old NFL football fights back. It was awesome to see. And then I think, Lions lost, Steelers lost, Browns lost, Cowboys lost. The only team that fucking won here is Boz's team, the fucking Chicago Bears. Chicago Bears got the win. I mean, they got revenge from that fucking Hail Mary bullshit they got beat on last year.
Can't lie, that was the greatest thing I've seen.
But he was actually paying attention this time. So fucking maybe they actually won the game. Bob's obviously happy.
Tyreek Stevenson's a bitch. Let's go. Bear down, bitch. Let's go. That was a rough game, if I'm being honest. The refs were kind of screwy. I don't know if any of you watched it, but there was a very, very bad call that took away a Rome Odunze touchdown, which was a great ball put up in the air by Caleb and a great spinning catch by Rome. And then, the story of that game was the defensive turnovers. I think Bears were forcing turnovers. The last one wasn't really forced. Weather kind of just handed us that, but that's what we needed to win, and that's what got us there. So,
all right, well, we're going to move on to these next week's picks to get them out of the way. We're going to start with one NFC East matchup. Should be good. Washington trying to bounce back from that tough loss against the Bears. going on the road to Jerry World to face the Cowboys. I don't know how to feel about this one because I think Dak has been very good. This is not his fault. I mean, the defense is just so bad. And, I mean, Dak just gets let down over and over and over every single game. Ever since that Bears game, he's played great. But, even though my team sucks, I'm still going to pick them. I'm going with Dallas to win this one. I think it's at home. In recent history, we've done well against the Commanders. So, I mean, if we beat them, great. If we don't, I still won't be mad because I know our team's dog shit. So, I mean, I'm not expecting this team to do anything. But, yeah, I'll go with the Cowboys.
Yep, that was a horrible pick. Give me the Commanders. I'm just flat out leaving the Cowboys are ass. Ass.
Boss, who you got?
I watched Caleb Williams torch the Cowboys defense, and I believe that the Commanders have this game already. I think they've already won.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the Commanders too. I'm sorry, bros. I hope the Cowboys win for your sake, but for everybody else that's a Cowboys fan, screw them. I can't stand
They
this
fucking
team.
win.
I never will like them. They're not good either. I don't see them I don't see them beating the Commanders and with Jaden Daniels. So I'm taking the Commanders.
Yeah, there's basically three teams that I hate, and it's the Chiefs, it's the Steelers, and it's the Cowboys. You can maybe throw in the Ravens in there sometimes, but I don't think I'm ever going to pick again, or I'm never going to pick for the Cowboys. So yeah, give me the Commanders and give me them by about $1 billion.
Yeah, probably what's going to happen. Dallas' defense is fucking a JV defense. But moving to the next one. This is going to be a good game. Indianapolis, who's had a great start to the year, 5-1, going on the road to face the Chargers. Obviously, Danny Dimes, has played very well in that Indianapolis offense. Jonathan Taylor is looking like a top 5 running back in the league. I mean, their offense is very good. They got some good receivers. Their offensive line is solid. And as we look at the Chargers, they've got a good offensive line as well, good quarterback, good receivers. I mean, depends if Amara and Hampton, he's out, but how's that run game going to look now with not him? I'm gonna go with Danny Dimes. I think he's on a roll right now, and I'm gonna go with the Colts in this one. So give me Indy to go 6-1. Yeah, somehow 6-1. The Colts are playing this good. So yeah, I'm going Indy.
I'm going to go on a little bit of a surprise pick, but I'm going to take the Chargers. I think it's going to be a good game, but honestly, I think Indy's a little bit just due for another loss almost is what it feels like, more than it is the fact that the Chargers are this way better team. I just think Indy's a little bit due for another loss. But both teams have looked honestly kind of solid. I know Chargers are a little banged up right now, but honestly, I think they can fight through some adversity and win a tough game.
I don't know what I want to pick for this game. I think both teams are pretty solid, but I'll take the Colts. I think they've been playing really good football, like we said. I don't mind the Chargers pick, like John. It's kind of like a toss-up game for me. I think they're both pretty solid, but I just think the Colts have been pretty good, both sides of offense. Jonathan Taylor's been on a tear, and then Danny Dimes, man, he's looked awesome. So I'll take the Colts by a few points. I think it'll be a really good game. I'll definitely try to watch it. That's for sure.
Yeah, I kind of agree with Hayden. I like Danny Dimes and Jonathan Taylor, especially because Jonathan Taylor's on my fantasy team, along with Bijan Robinson. That's been just a two-headed monster that I really like to have. So, Yeah, I'm going to take the Colts. I think that they just got more firepower, and I think that JT's just going to be able to run the ball all over them. So yeah, give me the Colts. I think they're just overall better.
We're gonna move into the nightcap on Sunday night. This should be a good game as well. Falcons coming off a big win against Buffalo, going on the road to face Mac Jones and the San Francisco 49ers. It's gonna be a good game, and both offenses are strong. Atlanta's defense proved they're solid as well, and but I picked them last week. I'm going with it again. I'm going with Atlanta to get it done. I think they're going to be the underdogs in this game, but I'm going with the Falcons. I think they get it done once again and prove everybody that they're a solid team.
So what Brose doesn't know is that the Atlanta Falcons only play good on Monday nights, so not Sunday nights. So I'm going to take the Niners. They've honestly looked so solid lately. I know they had a bad loss to Jacksonville on the road, but I honestly think Mac Jones is getting it pretty much done. Brock Purdy is apparently questionable right now for this weekend, so if they get Brock Purdy back, this could be a little bit different of an offense, but I don't know. The Niners feel like a really sleeper good team right now, and I believe in what they're trying to do right now with a banged-up team.
I'm gonna join Bruce. I'm gonna take the Falcons this week. I have a little bit of different pick. I haven't picked them the last two times we have, but I'll join the Falcons bandwagon. I think they've looked pretty good recently. Their offense has been very explosive with Drake London, and then Bijan Robinson has played phenomenal. So I'll mix it up. I'll go with the Falcons.
Yeah, I don't mind the pick. Honestly, I've just been shocked. I don't know how many times the Falcons just have to win for them to persuade us into picking them, but I just still just don't want to believe in them. I think the Niners might actually be getting Kittle back this week, so that'd be a huge get if they can get him back. I think that, honestly, they should probably keep playing Mac Jones over Brock Purdy because I think he's just more talented. Because Brock Purdy is just a system quarterback at best. So, keep Mac and Cheese in, and I think that the Niners. Oh, yeah. Can't forget about those precious air yards because apparently that stat just matters so much. But, I'm going to take the Niners in this one for sure.
Okay, well, it's a pretty split game. I think either of those teams could win, but we'll see. Last one we'll get into for the night is Tampa Bay going on the road to face the Lions, who are coming off that bad loss against the Chiefs. Bucks, well, Rob said this, they're a solid team. There could be a dark horse, but right now the receiving room is fucking devastated by injury. Mike Evans, questionable. Chris Godwin, hurt. Abuka's hurt. I mean, if they don't have any of those guys, I don't see a world in the hell where the Bucks win this game. It's in Detroit. I'm going with the Lions. They're going to bounce back. I think if this was in Tampa, it's a different story. But it's Detroit. It's at home. The home atmosphere, it's going to favor the Lions. I think the Lions get it done. But it's very close. I think this could be one of the games of the year, potentially. High scoring.
So I thought there was no way in hell that the Chiefs could beat the Lions last week, even with the Lions having a beat-up defense. And I was proven wrong because of the refs, the best player on the Kansas City Chiefs. And that's basically the only way I think the Bucs can beat the Lions. I think they're really good, and I think Baker's having an MVP-worthy season right now. But I also think there's another man having an MVP-worthy season right now, and that is Jared motherfucking Goff. So give me the Lions at home in prime time on Monday night. I like the Lions. I like our odds. I like our chances, even with Mike Evans in the lineup. And, I think we can get it done. I think we can have another good turnaround game. I'm frustrated with that Chiefs loss, but, if MCDC is anything, he knows how to help us, get right back around and, start playing Lions football again and, get away from a game that got away from us early last week.
Man, I don't know. The Bucs are pretty banged up. I say if they're a healthy team, I'll take the Buccaneers. But I also don't care. Give me the Buccaneers. Screw the Lions. I'm taking the Buccaneers. I think there's one reason and one reason only. Baker motherfrickin' Mayfield, dude. This dude is on a tear. He's going to win the MVP if he keeps it up. He's the best quarterback in the league at the moment. I got the Bucs in a very close one. I think it's going to be a great game, but Baker Mayfield is the reason why the Bucs get it done. That's all I got to say. Also, Mike Evans might return, so we'll see.
Yeah, I might go with my dark horse here just because they look so good. I didn't think it'd be this good, to be honest, but I think that the Lions are catching a huge break here, but both of this game being at home and the Bucs being so banged up. I mean, if this is full strength, I don't even think it matters that it would be in Detroit. I think that the Bucs at full strength would get this done for sure. But I think it makes my prediction a lot more difficult knowing that Ibuka could be out, Bucky Irving could be out, Chris Godwin. I mean, just so many huge weapons for them. And I think that just Mike Evans himself won't be able to get it done, especially if he's a little hobbled by an injury. So it pains me to do this, but I will be taking the Lions, unfortunately. But my prediction still looks good. I still think that the Bucs are for sure going to make the NFC Championship. But before we move on, I also want to say the Browns have a winnable game this week. They play the Dolphins at home. So I'm really hoping that we can get a win this week. I know we want to tank. This isn't an official prediction, by the way, but I really hope that we can get a win because we play a shit team. I don't give a fuck about the tank. Can we just get a win over a bad team for once, please? Like, I'm just hoping for anything positive from this year because I don't want to go 1-16, man. It's just not fun.
Shedeur Sanders action, maybe?
Maybe, maybe Gabriel will get like smoked in the head and his little Hawaiian head will be rolling around the ground.
Oh my god.
We'll see. It could be Shedeur time. We'll see. Tank for Arvell Reese and Carnell Tate. That's my reaction right now.
Tank for fucking Jeremiah Smith at this point. Jesus Christ.
2-year tank. We'll see.
Does anyone else got anything to add before we go?
All right, I got one thing too, real quick. I just want to say congrats to the Tigers for joining the Guards in Cancun. I mean, we were feeling really lonely, and it just feels so great seeing the Tigers join in. Especially after that long game with so many chances to win, they still just pissed down their leg. It's just really cool to see, really making that 15.5 game blown division lead just make a lot more sense. They're right where they belong in Cancun. Just want to say that. Happy to see it.
Anyone else got anything to add?
Congratulations to the Columbus Blue Jackets on their 2-4 start to the year.
I don't give a shit about hockey.
You do. You only do when it involves. Oh, sorry, 1-3 start. My mistake. You guys only have one win.
And the Red Wings.
John, to be fair, the season's like a weekend. Chill out.
Yeah, but the Wings are 3-1, and we've played very similar caliber opponents. So.
And I still don't
play Tampa.
We play Tampa tomorrow night. So, yeah, hopefully the Wings keep having their good start right now. But, Will Rob wants to talk about the Tigers selling and the Tigers being back in Cancun. Don't worry, Will Rob's going to join us all in Cancun eventually in the Dynasty when he loses to Craigle tomorrow night after me and Gavin play.
We'll see about that.
Nope.
Let's go, Bob.
Cheese, you're really going to take Cheese over a god team?
Yeah, but he doesn't have skill either. He sucks.
Bro, you want to talk about skill. You want to talk about skill.
You barely even made the playoffs. You lost to 5-7 Washington, buddy.
Hey, barely making the playoffs and running the same play over and over again, but to an opposite side
dude.
Is not... Bro, this guy. Jet sweep. Now it's halfback toss.
Hey, beat Gavin first. See what happens.
I can beat Gavin, buddy. I've beat him more times than you have.
Well, you lose when
let me know when you beat me, by the way. Let me know when you beat me. Once you beat me, then you can start talking,
Let's see who goes further this year, all right?
Oh, yeah, further is how you judge it, not based off of opponent.
Hey, thanks, John. Please win the next game so I can beat you. Sounds good.
Hey, congrats on the Cuse. Congrats on the Cuse.
Yeah, actually, we should give a shout out to the Cuse. The Cuse have done very well in the dynasty. They figured out how to recruit, and they've had a great year this year. Yeah, Cuse have had a great year. I have a not even a bold prediction at this point. Cuse are making the playoffs next dynasty season.
Oh Lord,
Cuse are playoff bound.
All right. Is everyone good?
It's college football dynasty. In case you're confused, the Syracuse in real life are not making the playoffs. Let's just get that clear.
Oh yeah. The Cuse that are coached by Bob Keister and the college football 26 dynasty are making
good.
Yeah.
All right, that'll do it for this episode. We thank you for listening, and we'll see you for the next one.